Yeah. So the question is, are you allowed by halacha from the beginning to do Sheva Berachot not in the house of the Hatan? Do you know Gemara in Masechet Ketubot in Daf Het? Gemara says that there is 7 days we have a mitzvah to celebrate with the Hatan. 7 days. Back in the day, Hatan used to bring all of his guests to his own house. They used to build a place for all the guests. And he was able, it's a new place, like a new room. That room used to be called the Chuppah. In this room, all the guests that came from all over the world used to celebrate with him 7 days. Morning, afternoon, at night. Morning, afternoon, at night. 7 days. Now, that used to be Gemara days. Says the Gemara, how many conditions do you need to have in order to say Sheva Berachot? Says the Gemara, first condition, you need to have 2 new faces. Panim, Hadashot. Some say the word Panim is face. Panim. Hadashot is new face, but not new faces. That's the Ran. Rabbeinu Nisim brings opinions like this. But Rav Yosef says, we don't follow the opinion that says 1 new person is enough. 2 new people, because the word Panim, Hadashot, goes on 2 new faces. It means people that they were not celebrating with the Hatan yet, now they come to celebrate with the Hatan. So in their honor, there's new people to celebrate with him. Yalla, make it right now. Sheva Berachot. That's the first condition. Second condition is that it has to be 10 men over there. 3 of them could eat other things, but 7 of them have to eat bread. That's Rav Yosef's conclusion. Minimum. 7 people, men, ate bread. 3 people ate other things. To regular zimun, you're allowed to combine a child. 2 people and a child, 9 people and a child. But over here, you're not allowed to combine the child for the zimun of Sheva Berachot. What's the reason? Because you don't have a regular zimun. Over here, you have Sheva Berachot zimun. Sheva Berachot, you need to have 10 anashim. 10 men has to be at that place. So, that's the second condition. Third condition, says the Gemara, you need to have the celebration in the house of the Hatan. Now, what's the reason? Back in the day, if the Hatan was not celebrating with his guests in his house, it used to show that he's poor. He's Bechora. He doesn't have money to bring the people to his place. So he has to be in the Babulia's place, in the synagogue place, in somebody else's place, and that one, in the restaurant. He didn't have money for himself to be able to afford and accommodate so many people in his house. So he felt not so comfortable when you go to other people's relatives. Because of that, says the Gemara, the whole point of Sheva Berachot is to have happiness. The Hatan and the Kala got married. But if the Hatan goes right now to his in-law's house, or goes to his aunt's house, or he goes to somebody else's house, or Dodo or Ben Dodo Igalenu, he's saying, what? I cannot afford that people could be eating in my account? So since it shows a little bit, not a completed happiness, says the Gemara, you cannot say Sheva Berachot in that place. That's how Shulchan Aruch Paskin. The Sephardic Rabbi Yosef Karo says, if you are getting together, not in the house of the Hatan, considered to be a problem. You cannot say Sheva Berachot. Why? It's not a full happiness. Hatan cannot accommodate so many people to be by him. Problem. Comes the Taz. The Taz is Rabbi David Segal. He wrote Ture Zahav. Taz, in short. He says, listen, Taz lived 400 years ago. 80 years after Maran. Taz says, listen, nowadays, what Hatan is going to be happy that all the people are going to come to his house? He's happier more when he's going to the restaurant. He pays the bill, das vidania, he's finished the thing. He has nothing to worry about cleaning. He has nothing to worry about cooking. Nothing to worry about bringing chairs, bring tables, bring it back to the person you borrow it. So all the people are in the new apartment. They're ruining your carpets. They're ruining your new parquet. They're ruining all the shiny things you just put. Zache kamut another. Lechchi, easier for everybody to go to the restaurant. You go to somebody's restaurant. You pay the money, whatever it is. This is the place that people eat. This is the place people make dirty. Halos, bas. Therefore, says the Taz, whenever nowadays the Hatan is happier, over there you will make the Sheva Berachot. Anywhere the Hatan is happier. Where is the Hatan happier? To bring right now 10 men into his one-bedroom apartment? Or to go to the restaurant, Baruch Hashem, Bakol Mikol Kol, chandeliers, shiny floors, music, AC, Akol Beseh. Where is he happier? He's happier in the restaurant. Therefore says the Taz, Sheva Berachot, not in the house of the Hatan, still allowed to be said. Why? Because he's happier. He's doing very well like this. He's Sameach, the whole idea is Simcha. He's happier, much more happier than to bring him into his house, into his apartment, to go to the restaurant. That's the opinion of the Taz. Rabbi Mazuz in Eretz Israel, he is one of the greatest poskim in his yeshiva, was Rabbi Moshe Levi. He wrote 5 books about the laws of brachot. Nazavaitza Birkat Hashem. 5 books. He writes in his book, in Birkat Hashem, that nowadays, even Sephardim are allowed to follow the Taz. And he says the people that they are happier going to the restaurant, go ahead, make Sheva Berachot over there. You have 10 men, you have 2 new faces. The only problem is not in the house of the Hatan. Restaurants, any other places the Hatan is happier to make the Sheva Berachot ceremony over there. Pazalusta, go over there. 100% fine. However, Rav Ovadia Yosef, as is known, Rav Ovadia Yosef is very makpid when it comes to the 2 points. The opinion of Maran, and when it comes to Brachot. The opinion about Brachot. Says Maran, Rabbi Yosef Karo says, the house of the Hatan. So, because the reality changed, the halakha will not change. Gemara says the house of the Hatan. So, since nowadays, if a person goes not into the house of the Hatan, in certain cases it says maybe the Hatan will be behemet happier to do with 10 of his friends in his house quicker than to go right now to Babulia and welcome the Bovo from over there and Bivi from over there. And by the time they're going to say Lilu Nishmat, L'chaim Buchaim, oh, something could have been finished in half an hour, get dragged for 3 hours. So maybe the Hatan will be happier not by Babulia's house and not by the aunt's house, not by somebody else, even in my house. But what? You're going to upset Babulia? You're going to upset right now the Bovo? You're going to upset the BV? You're going to upset the grandparents? You're going to the uncles, the aunts? Balagan. So what can he do? So he goes. He justifying the fact that he goes, I don't have to clean, I don't have to wash, I don't have to cook, I don't have to do, Babulia will do everything. I'll just go over there. So he says, Rav Ovadia, Be'emet, sometimes Be'emet the Hatan will be happier in his house. It's just because he doesn't want to offend others. So he goes over there. So therefore, says Rav Ovadia Yosef, since in the matter of bracha, yesterday I explained that the bracha, Rabotai, is something very important to be careful about. Not to make bracha lebatala. Gemara in Masechet Shvuot says that whenever Hashem said 10 commandments, Binyamin? Yeah. Out of 10 commandments, which commandment the world shook when God said that? Don't steal, don't kill, don't rape, immorality, nidzelei, don't covet. Which, respect your parents, which commandment Hashem said and the world shook? Do not mention my name in vain. That's the 3rd commandment. Says the Gemara Masechet Shvuot, the whole world shook 400 parsa, shook. Not a little bit, shook. From this commandment, showing how much fear the ground had, the earth had, whenever God mentioned that commandment to the world. So says Rav Ovadia Yosef, you see that to say bracha, not 1, not 2, not 7 brachot. You're going to say right now 7 brachot, majority of them going to be lebatala. Kaktini paisya. What happened to a machloket in brachot? Safek brachot leakel. How can you say that? So therefore says Rav Ovadia, listen. We can come and compromise. Make a oseh shalom imbromah. What? Ashkenazim that follows the Taz. The Taz says even not in the house of the Hatan. Pazalusta. If you have Rosh Yeshiva, tell him, Rosh Yeshiva, I'm going to make you to say the Sheva Berachot for the celebration of the 7 days. During the Chuppah, I'm going to give it to my Bovo, to my BV, to all the people over there. So you're going to get maybe 1 bracha. But I compromise you. The rest of the week is all yours. Like this, what? You're going to say, come, he's going to come. He's going to say all the Sheva Berachot over there. He's Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi follow the Taz. Pashalusta, go ahead. No problem. Be my guest. You're going to say the Sheva Berachot? We will answer on you, amen. Because you are saying it according to your opinion, and there's many opinions justifying even according to the Sephardic opinion. We have Safek Sfeka to justify answering amen. But he says, some people, when I got married, one person told me, listen, are you going to make Sheva Berachot in your house? I said, somebody told me the Bukharin have a minhag to make Sheva Berachot by Bovo, by Bivi, by over here, over there, uncles, by aunts. So if we have a minhag like this, but Be'emet it's a minhag, we have a rule. Safek Berachot le'akel. We don't say when there is a minhag. Minhag is stronger than Safek Berachot le'akel in the laws of Berachot only. After I got married, they came out Likutei Dinim in Hebrew. What is Likutei Dinim? The Bukharian minhagim, all the way from Bukhara. When I got married, it was all in Tajikian language. It was very hard. I tried to read it. Even if you know Bukhari, you're not going to understand what's written there. Such an ancient words, very not so simple for me was to understand that. So I didn't know what the Sephardic minhag, the Bukhari minhag was. Some people told me the minhag was to say Sheva Berachot outside the house of the Hatan. Others disagreed. I came up across this Sefer Likutei Dinim. Now it's in Hebrew. Hebrew I can understand. It says over there, Bukharians never had a minhag to say Sheva Berachot outside the house. That's what's written in the Sefer. You like it or not, that's what's written in the Sefer. Shocking. Bukharians did not have a minhag to say Sheva Berachot outside the house of the Hatan.
What about if the Hatan doesn't have a house?
No, there doesn't have to be a house. Apartment is also fine. Studio he has. Where is he going to be with his wife? He has somewhere, or parents, somewhere he's going to be. No, I meant, it's a good point. No, I didn't mean own a house. I'm talking about his own private place. Could be apartment, could be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, whatever it is. Huh? That's exactly what the Taz is saying. Your point is the Taz saying. That's what Ashkenazim say. He said, nowadays we live in such a small places, there is no room for all these guests. So therefore you make Sheva Berachot in the restaurant. Pajalusta, no problem. Yeah. So says Rav Ovadia, in such a case what to do? You bringing, Benjamin, you bring your Ashkenazi friends. You say, we're going to celebrate. Sheva Berachot you're going to say. All of the 7. No, you have to make one. Or he said, if there'll be somebody that, let's say, he follows a Taz. There's many Sephardi opinions. Like I told you, Rabbi Mazuz is a big rabbi, a very big rabbi. He said to his community, Sheva Berachot you can say in the restaurant. He's a Sephardi. And in Bnei Brak, people follow him. But if you follow Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, Ovadia Yosef said, Safek Berachot le'akel. But if somebody will say it, according to their shita, they have a Taz to whom to rely on. So therefore there is whom to rely on. But if I want to follow Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, what should I do? Like if there'll be tonight over here, Sheva Berachot downstairs, what are we going to do? Says Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, you're allowed to say the first beracha, which is Borei Pri Gefen, and the last beracha. Asher bara. You remember the song or no? This one you're allowed to. He said, why? He says, this one, it's the minhag was, and it justifies, this minhag was for decades, not decades, hundreds of years, that if there is a zimun of 3 people, even if it's not in the house of the Hatan, to make the Sheva, the first and the last beracha, Asher bara Hatan v'kala sason v'simcha, Baruch Ata Hashem v'sameach Hatan im hakala. And like this, only 3 people is enough, he says. This was the minhag. In Bamakom minhag, we don't say Safek Berachot le'akel. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah.